All right, that's done. What's next?
Set off the nuke?
Various simulators are projecting that hundreds of thousands will die.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. Time to enter Flashtime. There's a nuke that's threatening the city and only the Flash family can save it. So they finally confirmed officially that Jay Garrick and Jesse Quick are coming back to the TV show in episode 15. They gave us a whole bunch of information about the episode, and they're introducing the concept of Flashtime, even though we've already seen versions of it. So I'll explain the difference between what the TV show's done with it, as well as the difference between that and Hypertime. Hypertime is like a completely different idea. There's a new round of the Flash Ring giveaway. All you have to do to enter is just be a subscriber and leave a comment on the video. So the episode description reads, when a nuclear bomb detonates in downtown Central City, Barry, Jesse Quick, and Jay Garrick slow down time by entering Flashtime. As everyone in the city is frozen, the three speedsters push themselves to the breaking point to save the city and everyone in it. So just to be clear, when it says the entire city is frozen, they're not leeching the kinetic energy out of the citizens the way that Grodd does in the comics. Recently, there was a Flash comic book where Grodd tries to steal the Speed Force from Barry, and in doing so, he uses technology to leech the speed out of everything in the city. So when the Flash runs really fast, it just seems like everyone is frozen because he's moving so fast. But then there are other characters like the Turtle that can literally slow people down by leeching the kinetic energy out of things. So in this case, it's just the Flash family moving at super speed for the entire episode. So when I posted that video and Daniel Panabaker was teasing that the episode would be a concept they'd never tried before, it's literally just an episode where all the speedsters are moving at super speed the entire time because the bomb, they say, the nuclear bomb, has gone off downtown. So you have to imagine that an explosion goes off, Barry immediately goes into super speed, and Jay Garrick and Jesse Quick just happen to be there and do the same thing, and then they have to figure out what to do because it's too late to stop the bomb from going off. Whereas last year they had a Gorilla Grodd plot that was almost the same, like the clip that I put at the beginning of this, where he literally just tried every single combination at super speed until he got the right one. So in this case, they have to find some other solution to the problem, and there are a number of comic book solutions to that problem, but I don't think they're going to use time travel. Like Barry would probably think about that, but then because of what happened with Savitar last year, and Jay Garrick being so pissed off about him, probably wouldn't let him do that. So the only other ways to stop a blast like that without having Firestorm nearby to convert that energy into something else would be to find a way to vent it into another dimension with Cisco, who can't move at super speed, even though we saw Iris in super speed. They call it Flashtime with Barry during episode 10. I'll talk about that in a second too. That's a bit of a different twist. But the only other way to contain it would be for them to run around the blast radius so fast that they contain it into a funnel that just goes up into the air, which is also not that great. So I have a feeling they'll find a way to port it into a different dimension because it's not like they're going to do the Superman thing where they just fly around the Earth in reverse time. That would be hilarious if they tried something like that. So it seems more plausible that they would try to just run around it, contain the blast, and then vent it into another dimension. You gotta feel bad for anything that's trying to live on Earth 15. They got the dose of radiation that they vented back during episode 10, and now it sounds like they might get an even bigger dose of that. But I think a lot of that just depends on how big the blast gets before the Flash family is able to get to it. You have to imagine, though, downtown, relatively populated, so if the bomb goes off, it sounds like if the Flash is normally a show that does a lot of big comic booky things, and they try to pull as many ridiculous things from the movies as possible, then let me know in the comments, do you actually think that they would try that Superman ending, like actually reversing the flow of time? Or do you think they'll take the more realistic route where it's a bigger blast, but you have three Flashes running around to contain it and vent it into another dimension? The problem being that you also have to have Cisco to open a portal, so they'd have to find a way to put Cisco into Flashtime if that were going to work. So there has to be some workaround for that problem. We've had a lot of theories about Iris maybe being pregnant and that's why she was able to exist in Flashtime with Barry. These are some of the examples of Barry being in Flashtime.
What's happening?
We're moving so quickly that everyone else is still.
How are you able to do this with me?
I actually don't know.
Remember those scenes during Season 3 when Savitar was running Barry through those special Speed Force tunnels, kicking his ass? That's also a slightly different idea from Flashtime. So it's almost like him jumping from the Speed Force dimension into our third dimension, then pulling Barry back up into it, running through that, then jumping back out at a different point in the third dimension, and it's seeming like he teleports and moves super fast, even though he was kind of using the Speed Force as an alternate dimension to fold space. Just remember the TV show tends to introduce really small concepts that it then turns into really big things later on, so like them taking down the meta during episode 10 seemed like a pretty big deal, but this is a much, much bigger version of that. Then in that same episode, you have Iris also being able to exist in Flashtime with Barry, them not understanding why. That being a much bigger thing, probably because of the twist of episode 16, when we get to see Iris become a speedster, but we still don't have any confirmation about why she gets those Speed Force powers, if it has to do with people transferring Speed Force energy into her, because that is a big comic book concept that they haven't fully explored on the TV show, without, just hooking Barry up to a bunch of machinery like during Season 2 when Zoom was trying to steal his power. But in the more recent Flash Rebirth comics, they've explored the idea of people taking and giving speed just by running around people in a special way. You can't actually do it without having to jack into speedsters with special machinery. I'm still kind of in favor of the idea of them using this Iris twist as a way to lead into Tornado Twins, like her being pregnant and having the Tornado Twins, and then eventually Bart Allen, because it feels like they're using all this to build towards something really awesome that people have been wanting for a long time, and Bart Allen is just one of those things. So even if we don't get him by next season, even if Coffee Shop Girl doesn't end up being a version of that, they will eventually get to a version of Bart Allen. It's not a question of if, it's just a question of when. As far as I know, Jay Garrick and Jesse Quick are only back for this one episode. Right now, Jesse Quick is with her team on Earth 2. Jay Garrick has been on Earth 3 since the end of Season 3, so I'm assuming they just go back there at the end of the episode after they save the day. But just let me know in the comments if there's any special comic book concepts that you guys want me to explain. Technically, it's a new Flash power, but it's something that we've seen him do on the show before, so it's not that new. It's just him learning to use his abilities in a slightly different way to greater effect. But Flash Family, Ride or Die, and Wally West is actually supposed to show up at the end of Legends of Tomorrow episode 11, so that's going to air on Monday. Of course, I'll do a video for it, so be sure you watch Legends on Monday night. I'll name a giveaway winner when I post that video, and of course there's a lot more Black Panther Infinity War stuff that's going to be posting in the next couple of days. So click here for brand new Flash, and click here for all my Black Panther Easter eggs. Thank you so much for watching, everybody stay awesome, I'll see you guys tonight.